accept. Have the courage to see it right through with utter acceptance. Now, riding in a car, in a bus, walking up the street, entering a shop, even staying at home alone or being at work in fear are very much the same as sitting through the school function. If, after listening to this, you attempt to go out by yourself, perhaps for the first time in months, in years, make sure you choose a definite goal before you set out. Don't think, I'll see how far I can go. If you do, you'll have only gone a little way when you'll begin to think, should I turn back? Have I gone far enough? Can I go any further? What if I overdo it? You become indecisive, anxious, and I don't want unnecessary anxiety at this stage. Therefore, make up your mind before you start off which street corner you'll walk to, which shop you will enter, what you will buy. A bar of chocolate will do, a reel of cotton. And wear comfortable clothes. Tight clothing may make you unnecessarily aware of your heart beating quickly, and I don't want you unnecessarily conscious of your body. And take a tranquilizer before you start out, but only one prescribed by your doctor. As I'll explain later, you may need a little extra tranquilization during the first weeks of recovery. Now, as you walk down the street or enter the shop, board the bus, don't try to hold on to yourself. Once more, have the courage to let go here, just as in the school hall. If you tremble, tremble. Trembling won't hurt you. If your legs feel weak, let them feel weak. They're still good legs to use. They'll still get you there if you give them a chance. Indeed, they won't go strong until you stop producing so much adrenaline by being so upset by the weakness. And this weakness is only a feeling. It's not a true organic weakness. It's the same weak feeling you would have if someone were to suddenly tell you you'd won £1 million. Don't be bluffed by a feeling. And don't add, oh my goodness, to any new strange feeling you may experience. Don't think, this is a new one. Dr. Weeks didn't mention this one. This must be important. It isn't. Accept any new feeling that comes. Accept anything your body does to you while you walk, while you work, while you wait. I'm assuming that you've been examined by your doctor and he's told you that you're suffering from nerves. And understand that you've been frightened for so long that being afraid is your habit, so that during the early stages of recovery you'll probably continue to be frightened. You can't banish fears such as yours overnight. Accept even this. Accept that for some time yet you'll often add second fear, plenty of it. You'll add it out of habit. In the beginning you can only practice not adding it. And when you fail, don't despair too much. Despair, oh yes, who wouldn't? But don't utterly despair. Practice accepting even failure and despair. The person who eventually completely recovers is the person who has learned to disregard failure, to disregard despair. And take those first steps slowly. Don't rush. Rushing to get it over and get back home quickly only increases agitation, and agitation prepares the way for panic. So go slowly, gently, and don't start out trying not to notice how you feel. Don't try forcing yourself to think of something different to keep your mind off yourself. You'll lose that battle for sure. How could you not notice how you feel, not think of yourself? You've been doing just that for so long. Of course you'll still do it. So accept that you'll have your mind on yourself and be prepared for just this. Be prepared to think and feel anything. Go toward it. Don't shrink from it, but try to be not quite so impressed by the way you feel. Don't let your feelings bluff you. You've been bluffed by feelings for such a long time, haven't you? Actually, your sensitized body is functioning normally in the circumstances you are creating for it. In circumstances of bewilderment, fear, and tension, how could your heart not race, your hands not sweat and tremble? How could you not feel strange, weak, unreal? Therefore, be prepared to feel this way in the beginning, and don't expect the feelings to stop coming as soon as you begin to practice acceptance. Don't expect acceptance to work miracles immediately. As I said, this may be the first time in years you've tried to go out by yourself, or even to stay at home by yourself. Isn't it natural that you should feel apprehensive about what you're doing? Feel strange, unreal? Aren't these feelings to be expected? Aren't they normal in the circumstances? Of course they are. They're not even sick reactions. They are normal reactions in the circumstances. If you recover quickly by following this advice, that's good. I've seen it happen often. But if your recovery is slow, don't be disappointed. Each person must be prepared to recover at his or her own pace. Slow recovery is often good for you. It gives you a chance to practice the method I've been teaching you again and again until you make it part of yourself. Panic doesn't go suddenly by ceasing to come. This is what you've been hoping for, waiting for. The cure doesn't work like that. Panic goes only when you take the panic out of panic by seeing it right through again and again and again without adding second fear until panic no longer matters. Even months after you're cured, you might still go through returns of panic. Memory is such an old fox. But you cope with these once more by seeing panic through once more and not being bluffed into thinking you've slipped right back, that you're ill again. In fact, it's good to take the old skeleton out of the cupboard from time to time and have a look at him. He frightens us less and less as we get to know him more and more. Don't begrudge setbacks. You recover in setbacks. And when you go out, have the courage to cut the tie between yourself and home. Release your body by thinking forward. Put your thoughts forward where you're going. If you're in a car, a bus, move forward with it. Don't hold your body back by keeping your thoughts at home. Don't pull against your body. Move forward with it. Float forward. Loosen that tense hold. When you return home after practicing this way, you may feel unusually tired and nervier than ever. This is not difficult to understand. While you avoided situations where you thought you would panic, you could perhaps go weeks without panicking. But when you go out into fear-producing situations, ready to face and accept, you willingly put yourself in the front line of battle, as it were, and for the time being you may feel plenty of panic. This is what we want, isn't it? And this is why you feel nervier than ever, temporarily more sensitized. And this is why you may need extra tranquilization prescribed by your doctor while you go through the early stages of recovery. And don't be afraid to let a day or two pass without practicing. Don't think you'll lose all you've gained if you don't keep going. You will never lose what you've learnt once you start to work at recovery the right way. Refreshing yourself sometimes by making no effort for a while is wiser than flogging your body on for fear that you will lose what you've learnt yesterday. Accept these halts in recovery. And when you fail, try to discover where you went wrong. When you review the situation, I'm sure you'll find that you did rush headlong to try and get it over quickly and get back home. You did withdraw in fear. You did try to sit on panic and stop it coming. You did add too much second fear. Or you were so overtired and oversensitized with so much trying that you became frightened of the very intensity of your feeling of fear just when you were expecting to feel better. Or you listened to that little voice always ready to discourage you. You know, that little voice that says, you can never do it, telling you that the method might be the right one, but you haven't got what it takes to